Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and I am designing today for Hip Kit Club. I am working with the December kits, so I'm using the main kit, the Pocket Life kit, the Embellishment Kit and also the colour kit too. My assignment today was to use fussy cutting and to use the main kit ephemera. I have started off by picking a pink cardstock background. Now, this is not something I do very often. I usually stick with white, but on this occasion I decided to go for a colour background, which is very, very unusual for me. And I'm going to fussy cut all those fabulous snowmen from one of the Crate Paper Snowflake papers. I'm going to go for some mixed media on this layout. Now, my assignment today was nothing to do with mixed media, but I thought I would create a background with my Lindy's Magicals, and then I could layer up my photo plus all of my fussy cut elements, so mostly my snowmen. I fussy cut all those snowmen out now, so now what I'm doing is moving on to my mixed media part of the layout. So I'm just using the Lindy's Magical, the pink colour, and I've mixed a bit with water and I've applied it directly onto my background using the packaging technique. So I'm now just adding a bit of extra colour to the layout, so I've actually put some of the powder directly onto the background and spritzed it with water in the hope that it would kind of spread out or explode, but it didn't on this occasion for some reason. Maybe that's the magical shakers, not the magical powders. So I might have it slightly wrong there, but it didn't explode in the way that I was hoping to. So I've ended up with this darker patch in the middle, where I might blot that later. Oh, here I am going to blot it now. Just to take off some of the wetness. It really did make the background very wet, and this is not a mixed media cardstock. It's a smooth cardstock that came in the cardstock kit this month, so it's not like a mixed media marshmallow style. So just coming in now with the blue. So I was aiming for kind of like an icy feel. I was hoping for blues and pinks for this layout. I'm going to use a photo of my daughter, and I'm going to document how much she loves Frozen 2. So I was hoping for snowflakes and snowmen and frozen looking things, so ice and snow really, and pink of course because she's very pink. So here we go, my mixed media is almost done. It's looking very much darker than what I would have liked. I was hoping for a much softer look, but it's on the page now and I'm going to go with it and hope for the best. So even though it's currently still a bit wet, I'm going to just kind of arrange a few bits and pieces on there just to see roughly what my layout should look like. Just trying to get an idea of where everything's going to go. I can't stick it yet because it's still wet. I'm away on vacation at the moment and I don't have a heat tool with me. I've tried my hairdryer on a few occasions and it's not been brilliant. I've managed to blow my mixed media across the page, I've managed to blow my layout of my hand, I've managed to knock a load of other paperwork off of the side from using the hairdryer. So I'm just going back to basics and letting it dry mostly naturally. Okay, so still just fiddling around with where everything's going to go, and I'm focusing all those things on the page there apart from the snowmen are the main kit ephemera. There was a packed full of icons and snowflakes and lovely little things that were ideal for well, they're ideal for all sorts of layouts, of course. I pulled out all the ones that will work really well for my Frozen theme. So the snowflake, the houses, and then I've also, in the main kit this month, there's also a pack of vellum snowflakes, so they're awesome too. So I've pulled those out ready to use as well. And I wanted to use the stencil that was in this month's kit too. It's got stars and little circles all over it, and I thought I would use the Nouveau glitter paste that we got in the December documented kit. So I'm just pushed that through the stencil and put that directly onto my background as well. So I'm just mounting my photo now. I'm just dressing the edges while I wait for my stars and my mixed media generally to dry. I think the video will skip in a minute and it will be the next day by the time it was actually completely dry and able to stick things onto. This Nouveau glitter paste is the glitteriest texture paste I've ever seen in my life. It literally is just like putting glitter through a stencil. It's awesome. So this is the next day now, and everything's completely dry, and now I can start to stick everything onto my layout. So I just have to arrange everything where I want it to go. So I'm going with a lot of the vellum stars. They're so pretty. They were in the main kit this month too. A whole pack of vellum stars and kind of snowflakes too. So some are stars, but some are not normal stars. They've got extra points, and therefore they look, some of them look a bit more like snowflakes. So they all work really well with this layout. So I'm going for a number of those, and my fussy cut snowmen, of course, and then all the bits from the main kit ephemera as well. So just layering up my my snowmen here, and the big snowman as well from the main kit ephemera. He's really cute. I was struggling with where to put my snowmen because I wasn't sure. I wanted them all to be looking at the photo. So this is something I do quite a lot. My ephemera needs, or my characters or critters or whatever I'm using, they all have to be facing the photo. So even if it's a camera and it's at a funny angle, it needs to be angled towards the photo. So depending on which way round things are, depends on where they go on the layout, and depends on whether they get used or not. So if I had loads of snowmen looking one way, I'm only going to use a few of them. I'm not going to use all of them. So I have, I think, 3 snowmen to the right of my photo, and they're all going to face into my photo. And then I've got a few snowmen on the other side, so 2 at the bottom, or 3 even, I think, that end up looking into my photo that way. And then I've got the 2 at the top again. Even though they're above the photo, they need to still be looking towards the photo, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like an arrow. That just makes the layout make more sense to me, and something that I do naturally. And then also I'll be like, oh, I want to use this, but it's the wrong way around, so I can't. So I do it naturally. It just doesn't look right if things are facing the wrong direction. So I tend to stick with that. It's not really a rule, but it's just something that I tend to do. Okay, so just getting it all stuck in place now. I'm just fiddling around, working out where everything should be. I've got quite a lot onto the background already now, and then I'm just going to tuck my photo in there too. Carrying on building up my layers. I've got snowmen, I've got snowflakes, I've got a bobble hat, I've got ice skates, I've got, what else have I got? Well, nothing yet, I don't think. I'm going to add a few more bits soon, carrying on using that main kit ephemera, and also I'm going to pull out the chipboard Crate Paper Snowflake chipboard elements too. I am adding in some silver snowflakes, so that was a pack purely of snowflake stickers from Pretty Little Studio. And I'm just getting a few of those tucked in various places. So I'm I've got the silver in the background for the stars that went through the stencil, and I just wanted to bring in a bit more silver, so those silver stars were ideal. Now adding some stamping. This is very unlike me. I thought I would just add a few snowflakes and stars onto the background, so dotted in between all of the larger elements, these teeny tiny snowflakes and stars, and that's from the Crate Paper Snowflake collection. We got the set of stamps in one of the kits this month, so I'm just going through, and I'm using a dark grey ink, StazOn, to use. I'm away on holiday, I don't have any other inks with me, so just that black one, or it's not black, it's dark grey, but only that one. That's all I've got with me. But that looks good, that looks absolutely fine. I probably would have preferred to use a navy on this colour scheme, but you know, have to make do with what I've got. So now I'm just using some silver twine or silver thread to tuck into my layers. So I'm just going to put a little twiddle underneath my snowman, this side of my photo, so on the left side. And now I'm just adding another one to over on the right as well, underneath again my snowman there. I've got, let's look at that big pink star as well. Just something to go on top of that. So that's looking quite nice. I like the way that those twiddles end up looking with the ends fraying out. So now I need to move on to doing my title. So I love these pink letters, and on the pink background they will look fab. So I'm going for the words frozen fever because she does have frozen fever, and that's the name of a short film as well that was out, I don't know, a couple of years ago. So that works really well. And I'm wondering if I can get in, at this point, I'm wondering if I can get in the word two as well, or I was thinking the two eyes that represent two rather than the number two. So I'm going to give that a go in a minute. My word fever was a bit too far over to the left, so I've had to move that over to the right. And now I'm happy with that, it's in place. I'm now just working out what I can do, because my Frozen Fever title looks like it's kind of floating now in the middle of my layout. I have a very vertical design going on, and now I've added this big horizontal element. So I feel the need to bring in some of the design over on the right hand side of the title. So I'm just adding in some snowmen there, and I'm going to add to that in a bit as well. So just now I've just making sure everything is kind of stuck in place. I think I had to walk away from the layout. I think just I'd either run out of time or I had to go somewhere or something. So this is a bit later on. And I'm just adding in some final pieces. So this deer from the Crate Paper Snowflake chipboard accents. And then I've added the bird paperclip at the top there. And also that flare badge from the exclusive flare badge pack. Now I'm just adding in some other little elements from these stickers here. Just building up all that really interesting backgrounds, a lot going on. So sticking a couple more chipboard stars here and things, just building up. It's what I do best, what I love doing. I love to keep adding bits and elements and bits and pieces. All good. So my snowmen are stuck down now. I've also trying to work out what else I can put over on the right hand side. I'm still thinking about the the frozen 2 fever. I want to somehow get that in, but I haven't figured out a way to do it just yet. Adding in some of those lovely little faceted enamel dots that are not dots. They're from Suprema, Say It in Crystals. It's one of my favourite things in this month's kit. I wasn't happy with where that dot had landed, so I just put that somewhere else. And a couple of them, the adhesive came off on the sheet and weren't stuck to the gem, so I had to stick those on with glossy accents. So here I am adding 2 eyes from the Glitter and Ice black alphas. I was thinking that it would look good and read as Frozen 2, but it just didn't work. They weren't big enough and too skinny and too small, and just didn't work. They didn't give enough impact. So I'm going with the number 2, because I think the 2 eyes from the black stickers would be too big and too overpowering. So I'm going for the number 2, which is not ideal because it's not how it is in the film, but I can live with it. I can definitely live with it. So Frozen 2 Fever, I'm happy with that title. I've added that little snowflake down to the bottom of the snowman, and I'm just adding in my journaling right now using a grey pen. I'm happy with adding the journaling here because it extends that horizontal element down a bit, and it makes it feel like it's more involved in the layout. That to me kind of brought it all together. I add lines with my ruler underneath all of my journaling as well, again just to give it a bit of extra oomph, to make it look like it's an actual design element as opposed to just randomly written somewhere. So nearly there now, just going to add in some splatters using my Lindy's, the same Lindy's that I've used for the background, so the pink one. And I just wanted to bring in some of the splatters over the Frozen Fever title area because there weren't any there, because that's not where I put my mixed media initially. Okay, so that is me done. Thank you so much for joining me today. You can find all of the fabulous Hip Kit Club kits on the Hip Kit Club website, and I hope you enjoyed my layout. Thank you very much. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.